Alright guys, bit of a different one today because this is not just any car. This is my personal car, my personal daily driver, and that's why if you have a look around, it is a little bit dirty, and it's a little bit dirty on the outside. And anyway, I wanted to show you guys this because anyone that follows the channel and lives in Australia will, depending on how they feel, they might think it's a bit funny that I drive a Ford Falcon every day. But if you're outside of Australia, I think that these cars are equally as interesting because arguably this is one of Australia's best cars ever made, and they never left. There's another great car that Australia made, but arguably this one is one of the best ones they've ever made, and then they stopped them. So what car is this if you're outside of Australia? Well, this is a Ford Falcon, and this is a 2014 Ford Falcon. So one of the very last sort of models. This one is an FG. They did make one more after this called the FGX, but there's another great Australian car. Anyway, there is one more they made after this, but it's really just a facelifted version of this car. So it's got all the same running gear that this car does. It just looks a little bit different. Looks like the front end of a Ford Mondeo. Anyway, if we have a quick look around here, so this is a Series 2. A Mark II Ford Falcon, and the reason I wanted a Mark II is there's two reasons. One, it has the ZF six-speed automatic gearbox, but the other is that it has the touchscreen here. Now, look, I have to be honest, it's okay. I don't love it. It does have Bluetooth audio and all of that kind of stuff that you'd need. Probably the only thing I'm missing that I probably would love is Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but again, it's a bit, you know, it's a 2014. Not a lot of cars from this age would have that. The other thing, other than that though, I really like this. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I do, but it's very functional. I can use these buttons to switch between my music. Big central volume knob. Heater and air conditioning work really, really well in this car, and this pocket's really deep. My whole hand gets in there. That's just got some receipts and my Chewbacca toy. This guy's really deep here, as you can see. I've got this, I don't know what that is, but it's in there. It's all really deep, and the inside is very big. Now this one is a G6, and I actually wanted a G6 because I'm not a big fan of leather, if I'm honest, which is the G6E. So this is not the top of the line as the G6E would be in terms of luxury and in terms of engine either. So it's a pretty base spec one, but that's what I wanted. This particular one, if we have a look there, we've done 200,000 Ks. We are averaging 13 litres, but when I got this car, it was at 14.6, and I reckon I've done about 2,000 Ks, and that has dropped really, it's dropped a lot. It's almost at 13, so that's about it. The one complaint that I have about this car is this interior handles. It's a common thing. They feel weak. They do feel weak, and they feel like they're about to break. One cool thing about this car is, as you can see there, it actually came with a reversing camera, which is pretty cool. Other than that though, it's a really honest car. It's in very good nick, and I'll just quickly jump out and show you guys the outside of it. If you're outside of Australia, you wouldn't know what these look like. Again, they were exclusive to Australia, and the FGX, the model after this, just had a different front end and a different rear end as well. But I think this is one of the best looking ones. And you know, as you can see, it's my daily driver. We're parked in this quite pretty part, but it's a dirt road. It's a pretty dirty car. I mean, I've got mud all in my tyres and stuff. I wouldn't normally do this with someone else's, but it's my car, so what are you going to do? But yeah, it's a really big, nice family sedan. This car is completely standard. Back seat's barely been used, and if we have a look in the boot, there's a reversing camera. The boot is huge, really, really big. I mean, I could just about lay down in there. So if we just have a quick look from behind there, as you can see, G6, great looking car. I got this car in, I think it's, I can't remember what color it is. Obviously it's like a navy blue. It is one of the premium paint colors, which is cool. There's lots of suede here, lots of buttons, and overall really nice interior. Cup holders in the middle, and oh, how could I forget under the bonnet? Again, if you're Aussie, this isn't going to be that interesting because you would have seen these all everywhere in Australian roads. But if you're overseas, especially in America, these engines are starting to get really, really popular, sort of known as the Barra. And there she is. There is my Barra. Great engines. This car has had a really expensive roadworthy, which you can probably see. It had a brand new genuine Ford power steering pump, and this one is not turbo. So some of them do come turbo, and that's what all that space is down the side there. But yeah, this one doesn't have it. But you know what? It's a daily driver. That's not really what I wanted it for anyway. I wanted it to be nice and comfortable and lazy, and that's exactly what it is. So if we start her up, there you go. Ford Command Center, a reversing camera, and we'll just switch to Bluetooth streaming. Now we've got some buttons over here and we can press those and, you know, have a look between our average speed, travel time, Bluetooth, all of that kind of stuff. I just normally have it on the Vito, which is average, yeah, there we go, speed, and our handbrake. And I will chuck my seatbelt on here and put it into drive, and we'll just go for a quick drive. Again, I have to be honest, driving this, it's not the most exciting thing, guys, if I'm honest, because it's a daily driver. That's what I bought it for. It's really comfortable, but it's also very high. It's very quiet and it's very comfortable. It's got cruise control. We can control our volume, radio, and it's just really nice. I think that this kind of era of daily driving, this kind of era of cars is really, really good, because I can still service this myself. You know, it's quite user-friendly, except the rear end, which I'll tell you about in a second. But when I was going to buy one of these, it was actually really hard to find a good, genuine one. So I paid $10,000 for this car, and I didn't want to spend any more than that, just 10. And I found this one. It's, you know, it's a two-owner car, but the bloke had it for like 9 years or whatever. And full service history, and he's been keeping up with that. There are a few things that he let slide, which I'll cover in a second, but overall, pretty good car. Very honest, like, I haven't cleaned the interior at all. This is how it come. It does need a bit of a vacuum from me, but other than that, really good. Cruise control, heater, air conditioning, everything works as you would expect. I mean, it's not that old, but it goes great. Again, it's not fast, really, because they're quite a heavy car, this, and it's an NA. One of the things that I don't love that people do to these cars is they're great engines, the Barras. They're like, honestly, they are fantastic engines. Not a very good sounding engine, if I'm honest, unless they're turbo. So not a big fan of that, but in terms of reliability, these are up there. And you know, I have to admit though that this car does feel a little bit like a taxi, and that might be a negative for some, but you know, for me, I don't mind that, because I'm lucky enough that I get to drive a lot of expensive, maybe exciting cars often, and having a quiet, lazy daily is actually really nice, especially one that's reliable as a Falcon. The other thing I've answered in a few other questions, a few other videos, is why I didn't buy a VE, which is sort of the equivalent to this, or probably a VF. Well, I don't think I'd get a good VF for 10 grand, if I'm honest, and I wanted a good one. I could get a good VE V6 for 10, not a good VE V8 though. There's a VE. I could definitely get something like that for 10, but not a V8. And I didn't really want a VE V6. I do like these. Down here we've got our traction control button, which I'm sure has never been pressed. Overall, really good cruise control. It's got these little paddles behind. Other than that, it's pretty normal. A pretty normal car, if I'm honest. But yeah, I just think that this era, for 10 grand, I mean, what more can you get? Again, a few negatives. Fuel economy is probably a little bit high. The interior handles are a little bit weak, and no CarPlay, but the car's probably too old for that anyway. That's really about it. There is really not that many negatives that come to mind. I never push this car hard at all, so I actually don't even know how quick it'll go. Maybe I'll do 0 to 80. There's just only because there's an 80 zone just around here, so I might do that. But yeah, overall, it's I really like this car. Again, a lot of people modify them and all that stuff, and you know, there's definitely a market for that. but for me, that would kind of defeat the purpose of why I bought this car at all. A few comments from people that have ridden in this car with me is that it feels a bit like a taxi. And it does actually, it does feel like a taxi, and that's probably because it is. A lot of people use these cars for taxis, and you know, this one's done 204,000 Ks. That's nothing. It really is not a lot. And the only other thing, the other negative with this car, which I'm lucky I got away with, so this car was 10 grand, came with a roadworthy, and now these cars around 200,000 Ks, they start to have a lot of issues with the diff bushings, and it's really involved to get those out. You got to drop the whole cradle, and they also have issues with the center bearing, tail shaft. All of that was replaced with a roadworthy. It cost an absolute fortune, almost $6,000, which is insane. I think the owner got taken for a ride a bit, if I'm honest. They've replaced a lot of things in this car, so it drives brand new. I mean, have a look at that. New suspension, new shocks, new bushes, new arms, new brakes. I mean, this car drives honestly phenomenal. It's really phenomenal. And actually there's another FG XR6 if you're outside of Australia. So this is the luxury one, but it's the entry-level luxury one. But again, I wanted that because I don't love leather interior, or for a daily anyway. Yeah, that's about it. Other than that, I'll do like a 0 to 80 or something a little bit quicker, but I don't think I've actually done one in this old girl. You know, she's but yeah, we'll do that in a second, and I'll show you what it's like. But overall, I'm very happy with the purchase of this. I've had it 3 weeks now, a month, and it's great. It really is. And I'm sorry if you're a die-hard Holden bloke. And I never thought that I would daily a Falcon, that's for sure, but it's grown on me. It's a good looking car, it's comfortable as anything, it's reliable, but it's still removed from technology enough that you can do things to it. You know, you can do things under the bonnet, you can service it yourself, you can fix things yourself, and that's what I like about it. I don't know if I'd daily something much newer than this unless I had money coming out my ears. Anyway, let's give it a bit of a run. Right, well, it's actually my first time I've done this, so and I've just had my I'll just slow down for a second. I've just had my fuel gauge. All right, there we go, there's 80. Now there was no one behind me, so it's fine, but first time I've done this. Sorry, old girl. Look, it's not fast, but it's enough for a daily driver. It's plenty. It's definitely not as quick as an XR6 turbo, but again, as a comfortable daily driver, it's nice. And I've driven some XR6 turbos and they're great, but you're always tempted to be an idiot in them. Not in one of these. So yeah, that's not really what the car's about, honestly, but I thought you guys would enjoy it regardless. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a bit of a different one, no HSVs or anything, and it's not a Holden, but it is my car. And I actually purposely didn't clean it because I thought I'd show you what my car's really like, because we use this car all the time now. It's really good. It's a perfect car, and I don't have any children right now, and hopefully nothing coming up immediately, but if that ever happened in the future, I think that this car would accommodate that. Like, I don't really need an SUV or a wagon. I'm pretty happy with the old sedan. So I hope you guys like this, and if you would like your car on the channel, then please feel free to email me, message me on Instagram. You guys have really been supporting me a lot on Instagram, so I really appreciate it, especially with all the subscriptions and all that stuff, and buying my merchandise, shedshirts.com.au. But otherwise, thank you guys for watching, liking, following along, subscribing. I really, really do appreciate it. So thank you guys very, very much.